Alex was not the type of human who expected adventure. He was an engineer, practical, careful, and used to dealing with machines rather than strange alien cultures. But today he found himself standing in the grand hall of an alien palace, surrounded by creatures whose shapes and colors made Earth seem dull in comparison. The hall shimmered with metallic walls, strange floating lights, and transparent walkways that seemed to stretch into empty space. Humans had visited many alien planets, but none had prepared Alex for this level of elegance. He had come to study alien technology, yet he could not help noticing the atmosphere of power in the room. Every movement, every word carried weight. At the center of this immense hall sat Lysera, the alien queen. She was tall, graceful, and unlike any creature Alex had ever seen. Her skin was a smooth silver with faint streaks of blue that shimmered in the palace lights. Her eyes were deep and intelligent, almost piercing through anyone who dared to look directly at her. Yet there was something approachable about her presence, something that made humans like Alex feel welcome rather than afraid. Alex's guide, a humanoid alien named Tarek, explained quickly in the soft translator hum of the device on Alex's wrist. "Be careful, human. The Queen's laws are strict. Words spoken in her presence are considered binding if said in public. Humor can be dangerous here." Alex nodded nervously. He had spent months studying alien legal systems and customs before leaving Earth. Yet standing in the center of the palace hall, he felt a wave of nervous excitement. Humor? Danger? Binding laws? He reminded himself to tread lightly. The court had gathered for a small diplomatic reception. Other alien leaders and dignitaries floated or walked gracefully around the room, discussing trade agreements, technology sharing, and matters of law. Alex, as the only human, felt out of place but also oddly proud. Humans were not known for diplomacy among alien civilizations. His job was observation and learning, not making mistakes. Then came the moment that would change everything. Lysera approached him with a slight smile. Her voice was melodic, resonating in a way that made the translator device seem almost unnecessary. "You are the human engineer, Alex, yes?" she asked. "Yes, Your Majesty," Alex said, bowing slightly out of respect. "I've read much about your technology and culture. It's an honor to meet you." Lysera tilted her head, her eyes curious. "And your humor? Humans are known to joke even in serious moments. Is that correct?" Alex chuckled lightly. Humor had always been his way to ease tension. "Yes, Your Majesty. I do try to make people laugh." She raised an eyebrow, and Alex felt bold or foolish. "Well, if you ever need a partner to help with technology or just to have fun, you can call me." "Wifey," he said, his voice light, laughing at the joke he had just made. The hall went silent. Conversation stopped mid-sentence. The guards straightened and the court stared. Even Lysera's expression changed. First surprise, then something unreadable. Alex froze. He had expected laughter, maybe a smile. Instead, the queen leaned forward slightly, eyes sharp. "Wifey?" she repeated, her voice steady but filled with weight. Alex blinked. Yes, it's a joke." "Just a joke." Tarek, his guide, whispered quickly in his ear. "Human, I told you. Words in public are binding under Queen Lysera's law. She may take your statement as a pledge." Alex's stomach sank. "A pledge, like marriage?" Tarek nodded grimly. "Yes, a pledge." Before Alex could respond, Lysera raised her hand. "Court," she said, and the sound of her voice caused every whisper to fall silent. "This human has spoken words that under our law are considered binding. We must proceed according to tradition." Alex's mind raced. Tradition? Binding words, joke? He had no idea what he had gotten himself into. "Wait!" "Your Majesty, I didn't mean—" But the queen shook her head gently. "The words are spoken in public. The law does not recognize intent or humor. Only the words themselves matter." Alex swallowed hard. He looked around the hall. The alien dignitaries nodded, the guards moved as if ready to escort him, and Tarek's expression was serious, almost sympathetic but firm. There was no room for argument, so, "What happens now?" Alex asked, trying to keep his voice calm despite the panic rising inside him. Lysera's eyes softened just a little. "Now, human, you are considered pledged under law. It is my duty to explain your responsibilities and the process. You may still choose your actions, but the law cannot be ignored." Alex blinked. Responsibilities, process? He felt like the floor had disappeared beneath him. He had come to this planet to study technology, not to navigate alien marriage laws, and yet here he was, trapped by a joke he had thought harmless. The court moved swiftly. Alex was escorted to a smaller chamber where Lysera could speak with him privately. The room was beautiful, filled with soft light that made the silver and blue of Lysera's skin glow naturally. "You do not understand our customs fully, human," Lysera said, "but you are intelligent. I will explain. Words spoken in public can bind someone to another. This is meant to protect trust, alliances, and honor. You are now connected to me. Whether you embrace it or resist, the law acknowledges it." Alex rubbed his face. I honestly didn't know. It was a joke. I never imagined anyone would take it seriously." Lysera's expression was unreadable. "Intent is irrelevant in our law. Only the words matter. But you are not yet lost. You may learn, adapt, and choose how to act moving forward. For now you remain under my care and we proceed with caution and guidance." Alex nodded, trying to absorb the reality. He was trapped in an alien legal tradition because of a joke. The irony was staggering. But beneath the panic, curiosity began to grow. What was this culture really like? How did Lysera rule her people? How could he navigate this strange system without angering the court, or the queen herself? As the day went on, Alex followed Lysera through her palace. He saw her interact with advisors, soldiers, and scientists. Every movement showed intelligence, grace, and authority. He began to understand why she commanded respect and why her people would hold her law sacred. Despite the tension, Alex found himself laughing quietly at his own foolishness. He had always thought humor was harmless. Now he realized that humor could be powerful, especially when misunderstood. Lysera noticed his expression. "Do you find this amusing, human?" she asked. Alex froze for a moment. I suppose I'm nervous. But yes, a little. I never expected my words to carry this weight." She regarded him silently, then smiled just slightly. "Your honesty is noted. Perhaps that will serve you well in the days ahead." By the end of the day, Alex sat alone in a guest chamber provided by the palace. The walls were sleek and alien, but the space was comfortable. He looked at the small device translating his words into Lysera's language and realized that every word he spoke would now have meaning in ways he had never imagined. He thought back to the moment he had said wifey, a simple, careless joke. And yet it had become a binding statement in a world far different from Earth. Alex knew that the coming days would test his intelligence, courage, and perhaps even his heart. Because in this strange, beautiful alien world, one careless joke had changed his life forever. Alex woke early in the alien guest chamber. He stared out at the palace grounds through the tall, transparent walls. The city below gleamed with metallic structures, strange vehicles gliding silently along smooth pathways, and beings of all shapes moving gracefully. Even in sleep, this world felt alive, and Alex felt small. Today he would meet more of Lysera's court. He knew it would not be simple. The joke he had made, calling Lysera wifey, was no longer a joke here. It was a formal pledge recognized by law, and the court would not allow him to ignore it. A soft chime echoed through the room. Tarek appeared at the doorway. "Good morning, human," he said. "Are you ready to meet the council and begin understanding your responsibilities?" Alex groaned softly. "I suppose I have no choice," Tarek nodded. "Correct. The law does not permit avoidance. But do not fear. Queen Lysera will guide you." Alex dressed in the standard human attire provided for him, a simple uniform designed for comfort and respect. As he walked through the corridors of the palace, he noticed murals depicting Lysera's ancestors, battles fought to protect the planet, and moments of peace that followed. Each mural told a story of honor, courage, and loyalty. At the council chamber, Alex was led before a group of alien leaders. They were diverse, tall, short, some with multiple limbs, others with translucent skin revealing faintly glowing veins. All eyes were on him. Lysera entered last, her presence commanding immediate silence. She approached Alex and spoke with calm authority. "Human," she said, "you are now recognized under our law. This council will explain your responsibilities and your place within our society." Alex nodded, though he felt a knot in his stomach. Every word mattered. Every gesture mattered. Misstep could be disastrous. The council spoke, their voices blending into one harmonious discussion. Alex struggled to understand every detail. Tarek whispered translations quickly. The council explained that Alex, as a pledged human, had duties to respect Lysera, assist in matters requiring human skills, and uphold the law of the court. Alex tried to process it all. It felt overwhelming, so, "I'm like an advisor?" he asked cautiously. Lysera's eyes met his. "Partly, but more than that. You are a partner human, not in the way your species understands marriage, but in a way that requires loyalty, intelligence, and courage. You are bound by words now, and those words must guide your actions." Alex nodded slowly. He realized that joking had consequences far beyond his understanding. But he also noticed a spark of curiosity inside him. He had never worked closely with beings so intelligent, so precise, and so powerful. After the council session, Lysera led him through the palace gardens. The gardens were unlike anything on Earth, plants that shimmered with light, trees with branches like crystal, and creatures that flitted gracefully between flowers. The air was fragrant and fresh, and the sound of soft music seemed to come from nowhere. "You may think our laws are strange, human," Lysera said softly, "but they exist to protect our people and maintain trust. We cannot act on impulse. Words carry weight here." Alex sighed. "I understand, I never expected a joke to mean so much." Lysera smiled slightly. "Humor is a human trait. It can be clever, but it can also be dangerous. You must learn to choose your words carefully." As they walked, Alex asked about her people, their technology, and the culture of her civilization. Lysera explained patiently, describing advanced systems that balanced ecology, energy, and society. Alex was fascinated. Even though he was trapped by law, he realized he was learning more than he had ever imagined. Later, Lysera introduced him to her technology experts. They showed Alex devices that manipulated energy, machines that healed quickly, and vehicles that moved faster than any human craft. Alex felt both excited and intimidated. He was an engineer, but the level of sophistication was beyond anything on Earth. "Perhaps you can offer insight," Lysera said to her experts, then looked at Alex. "Humans think differently. Your perspective may reveal solutions we have not considered." Alex felt a rush of pride. He had expected punishment or isolation, but instead he was being trusted. His skills mattered here, and his opinions could make a difference. Days passed, and Alex began adapting to life in the palace. He learned alien etiquette, studied the laws in detail, and assisted in minor technological projects. He was careful not to make jokes, but the tension between humor and seriousness lingered in his mind. One afternoon, while working in the lab, Alex accidentally triggered a small energy surge. Machines whirred, lights blinked, and a small panel burst open. He froze, fearing the court's judgment. Lysera appeared quietly behind him. "Are you all right, human?" she asked calmly. Alex nodded, trying to hide his embarrassment. "Yes, Your Majesty, it was a small mistake." She observed him closely, then smiled slightly. "Mistakes happen. It is how one handles them that matters. You are learning quickly, and that shows courage." Alex felt relief. Her patience was both intimidating and comforting. He realized he could not treat Lysera lightly. Humor had brought him here, but respect and courage would guide him forward. One evening, Alex was walking through the palace courtyard when he saw Lysera standing alone, looking at the stars. He approached quietly. "Human," she said without turning. "You have adapted well, but you must understand the deeper meaning of your words. They affect more than yourself. Your actions reflect your pledge." "I understand," Alex said honestly. "I never meant any harm. I want to do what is right even if I don't fully understand your laws yet." Lysera finally turned to him. Her eyes held both curiosity and respect. "Your honesty is noted. Few humans would face their mistake and act with such care. Perhaps this will guide you in the days ahead." As Alex left the courtyard, he reflected on his situation. He was a human in a foreign court, bound by words he had never expected to carry meaning. But he was learning, growing, and slowly finding ways to navigate this strange new world. He realized that the joke had been an accident, but it had opened a door. He could either fear it or embrace it. Choosing fear meant isolation. Choosing engagement meant opportunity. And Alex was beginning to see that opportunity could change not only his fate, but also the way he viewed humans and their potential in a galaxy full of wonders. By the end of the week, Alex had begun to understand the palace rhythms, the expectations of the court, and even the subtle humor in alien behavior. He noticed moments when Lysera's sharp gaze softened or when a small smile appeared at the edge of her lips. These small signals gave him hope. He also understood the seriousness of the law. Words spoken carelessly could bind him further, and he would need to act with intelligence, courage, and respect at all times. As night fell over the palace, Alex sat in his chamber looking out at the city lights. His journey had begun with a joke, but it was evolving into something far more complex. He was no longer just a visitor, he was a human bound by law, navigating the delicate balance of humor, duty, and trust in a world that was both beautiful and dangerous. And deep inside, he wondered what the coming days would bring. Because in this alien world, being a human was not just about survival, it was about learning, understanding, and proving that courage and intelligence could cross any boundary, even those set by law, culture, and the unexpected weight of a single joke. Alex had been in Lysera's world for nearly 2 weeks. He had learned the palace routines, the language nuances, and the etiquette of the court. Still, he felt a quiet tension every time he faced the queen or her council. The joke he had made, calling Lysera wifey, had not only bound him under law but also placed him in a position of responsibility he had never imagined. This morning, Lysera called him to the palace courtyard. The sun, or its alien equivalent, cast long shadows across the crystal-like tiles. The air was crisp, carrying faint scents of alien flowers and ozone from energy conduits embedded in the ground. "Human," Lysera said, her voice steady. "It is time for you to prove that you understand the weight of your pledge. You will face the trials of trust." Alex blinked. "Trials?" he asked, trying not to let his nerves show. Lysera nodded. "Yes, they are designed to test courage, intelligence, and integrity. Our law binds you to me, but your actions will define how you fulfill that bond." Tarek appeared at his side. "Do not worry, human. The trials are not meant to harm you, but they will challenge your abilities and your judgment." Alex took a deep breath. He had faced technical problems and emergency repairs on Earth, but this was different. These trials would test more than his engineering skills. They would test his character. The first trial was a test of problem-solving and quick thinking. He was led to a chamber filled with machinery, cables, and strange glowing panels. A projection appeared, displaying a series of interconnected systems with malfunctioning nodes. "You must stabilize this energy network," a technician explained through the translator device. "If it fails, the chamber will lock down until the system resets. You have 1 hour." Alex examined the network quickly. He could see the logic, but the technology was far more advanced than anything he had ever encountered. Still, he relied on his human intuition and training. Carefully, he rerouted energy flows, adjusted conduits, and recalibrated the system. The panels blinked erratically, but he remained calm, working steadily. Minutes later, the system stabilized. A soft chime indicated success. Alex exhaled, feeling a rush of relief. Lysera appeared at the doorway. "You think quickly and act carefully. That is a good start. But courage and loyalty are equally important. Your next trial will test those qualities." For the second trial, Alex was taken to the cliffs outside the palace. The drop below was dizzying, and the wind carried a faint hum of energy. A simulated alien creature appeared, a large predator-like being used for training purposes. "You must retrieve the artifact it guards," Lysera explained. "Do not harm the creature unless it attacks you. Your goal is intelligence and bravery, not violence." Alex approached cautiously. The creature's eyes glowed softly, tracking him as he moved. He noticed patterns in its movements and realized that patience and observation were key. Timing his steps carefully, he avoided the creature's path and reached the artifact. A sudden gust of wind nearly knocked him off balance, but he held firm, grasping the artifact safely. Lysera's gaze followed him, and she nodded with approval. "You are learning to read challenges, not simply react. That is important. Courage is knowing when to act and when to observe." The third trial tested integrity and empathy. Alex was taken to a village where alien citizens had been simulated to face a dilemma. The simulation showed a group trapped by a collapsing structure. He had 2 options: save a single valuable object or help the citizens escape. Alex did not hesitate. He ran to help the citizens, guiding them to safety. The structure shifted, creating a tense moment where he nearly became trapped himself. But using quick thinking and balance, he pulled everyone to safety, including the youngest citizens who seemed unsure and frightened. Lysera appeared behind him, her expression unreadable. You chose to protect lives over possessions. This is the action of someone who values loyalty and empathy. These are qualities that define a worthy partner under law. Alex nodded, feeling both exhausted and proud. He had passed 3 trials, but he sensed that the final challenge would be the most difficult. The 4th trial was a test of leadership and teamwork. Alex was placed with a small group of alien soldiers, tasked with coordinating a rescue mission in a dense forest outside the city. The mission involved retrieving an energy core needed to stabilize the planet's power grid. At first, the alien soldiers were skeptical. They had never worked with a human before. Alex had to earn their trust quickly. Using clear communication and logical planning, he assigned roles, pointed out hazards, and offered solutions when unexpected obstacles appeared. A sudden storm complicated the mission. Heavy rain fell and the ground became slippery. Energy conduits sparked dangerously, creating tense moments. Alex remained calm, encouraging his team and adjusting their plan on the fly. By the end of the exercise, they retrieved the energy core successfully. The soldiers began to respect him, not just for his human skills, but for his courage, calmness, and quick thinking. Lysera watched from a distance. You have shown intelligence, courage, empathy, and leadership. You are learning the essence of our law. But the final trial will test your willingness to protect those you care about, without hesitation. The 5th trial was the most personal. Lysera guided him to a simulation where she herself was in danger, surrounded by hostile forces. Alex had to choose, save her or escape. Alex did not hesitate. He placed himself in front of her, using the limited weapons and tools at his disposal to defend her. The simulation was intense, but he focused on strategy and protecting her. Lysera observed every move, noting not only his skill but also his instinct to act selflessly. The simulation ended, and the chamber lights returned to normal. Lysera approached him, her expression softer than it had ever been. "Human," she said, "you have shown that your words carry meaning and your actions honor them. Courage, intelligence, loyalty, and empathy are not traits we demand lightly. You have proven yourself in all areas." Alex felt a surge of relief and pride. He had faced the trials of trust, not only for the sake of the law, but also for his own understanding of this alien world. "Your Majesty," Alex said, breathing heavily. I did my best." "I hope it is enough," Lysera nodded. "It is more than enough. You have shown that humans, despite being new to our ways, can rise to challenges with honor and heart. That is rare." As they walked back to the palace, Alex realized that his perception of humans had changed. He had relied on intuition, courage, and empathy, traits that many in the galaxy underestimated. Yet here, they had proven powerful. For the first time, Alex felt a real connection with Lysera, not through law, not through humor, but through shared understanding. She was observing him closely, sometimes offering guidance, sometimes letting him make mistakes and always learning how he would respond. The palace night fell, and Alex found himself back in his chamber reflecting on the day. The trials had been exhausting, but they had also taught him about trust, responsibility, and the importance of his words. Humor had brought him here, but courage and integrity would guide him forward. He realized that the joke of calling Lysera wifey had led to something far more meaningful. It was no longer just about a pledge under alien law. It was about proving himself as a human capable of honor, loyalty, and heart. As he lay down to rest, Alex thought about the future. The trials were over, but the real journey was only beginning. He would need to navigate this world carefully, balancing humor, intelligence, and respect. But he also felt a growing sense of purpose. For the first time in his life, Alex understood that humans were more than just survivors or engineers. They were thinkers, problem solvers, and above all, beings capable of courage that could cross worlds. And in this alien palace, standing beside a queen who demanded honor and loyalty, Alex felt that he was starting to prove the value of humanity. One careful step, one thoughtful word, and one courageous act at a time. Alex had begun to feel more comfortable in Lysera's world. The trials of trust had taught him the value of courage, intelligence, and loyalty. But he also knew that being bound by words under alien law carried weight far beyond any challenge he had faced. Every decision, every gesture, and every word mattered. One morning, Lysera summoned him to the central hall. The air was tense, and the usual calm of the palace was replaced by a quiet urgency. Advisors moved quickly, and guards stood alert at every doorway. "Human," Lysera said, her voice steady but firm. "We face a challenge that cannot be solved by law alone. Our territory has been threatened by a faction that seeks to undermine our leadership. You will accompany me and provide insight. Your human perspective may be valuable." Alex's heart quickened. This was not a trial or simulation, this was real. He had been learning alien systems, etiquette, and technology, but now he would see how the world worked outside the palace walls. As they moved through the city, Alex noticed subtle signs of tension. Citizens moving quickly along streets, transport vehicles maneuvering efficiently, and patrol drones scanning the area. Lysera explained that the faction sought to create unrest by disrupting communication networks and spreading false information. "We rely on logic and strategy," she said, "but humans think differently. Your methods may surprise them, and may be the key to stopping this threat." Alex nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. He had always solved problems in creative ways, combining logic with intuition. Perhaps that skill could help here. Their first stop was the communications hub. Alien engineers worked rapidly, repairing damaged circuits and recalibrating systems. Alex studied the layout and quickly identified inefficiencies in the workflow. Using simple adjustments and minor recalibrations, he helped increase the hub's output and speed, allowing communication to remain uninterrupted despite attempts at sabotage. Lysera observed closely. "You adapt quickly," she said. "That is the human advantage. Others may rely on tradition, but you see solutions that are not limited by convention." After the hub, they traveled to the outskirts of the city, where the faction had left false messages meant to incite panic among the citizens. Alex suggested a strategy to verify the information quickly and use a controlled broadcast to correct misunderstandings. The Alien Council members were skeptical, but Lysera supported his idea. With careful execution, the misinformation was corrected. Citizens began to return to normal routines, and the faction's influence weakened. Alex felt a sense of satisfaction. His human problem-solving skills had made a real difference. That evening, after a long day of strategic planning and oversight, Lysera and Alex walked along the palace terrace. The twin moons rose above the horizon, casting a soft silver light over the city below. "You have performed admirably today," Lysera said, her voice calm yet reflective. "Your actions demonstrate courage, intelligence, and a sense of responsibility. You are beginning to understand what it means to be bound by our law." Alex smiled faintly. "I'm learning, Your Majesty. And I realize that this isn't just about words or law. It's about trust and responsibility. I want to help, not because I have to, but because it's the right thing to do." Lysera's eyes softened. "That understanding is rare even among my people. You see the meaning behind our rules, not just the rules themselves. That is why humans can be valuable allies and, in some cases, worthy partners." Alex's cheeks warmed slightly at the word partners. He reminded himself to stay focused, yet he could not ignore the growing respect and something deeper that had developed between him and Lysera. The next day brought another challenge. Scouts reported unusual energy readings in the northern forest, near the border of Lysera's territory. Alex was asked to accompany a team to investigate. The forest was dense, with trees taller than any on Earth, their leaves shimmering in faint metallic hues. Strange creatures moved silently among the branches, and the air was filled with a hum of natural energy. Alex had never experienced anything like it. The energy readings led them to a hidden device, likely placed by the faction. It was a sophisticated mechanism capable of disrupting the planet's power network. Alex examined it carefully. The technology was advanced, but the principles were not entirely foreign. Using his knowledge and intuition, he suggested a method to neutralize the device without damaging the surrounding energy grid. Lysera observed his actions, impressed by his calmness under pressure. "You remain steady, human." Many would panic in such a situation. Alex worked carefully, disabling the device and ensuring the forest's energy flows remained stable. Lysera's advisors looked at him with admiration. They had underestimated the human. After the operation, they returned to the palace. Lysera spoke privately with Alex in the observation lounge overlooking the city. "You are beginning to see the depth of our world, human," she said. Your abilities are useful, but more importantly, your choices reflect character. Humor may have brought you here, but courage, thought, and integrity will determine your place in our society. Alex nodded. I understand. I want to do what's right, not just for me, but for your people. I never expected my actions to matter so much. Lysera's gaze softened. And yet they do. Your perspective, your decisions, they show that humans can bridge gaps between worlds. You act not out of obligation, but out of understanding. That is rare, even among my people. Over the following days, Alex continued to assist in matters of strategy, technology, and diplomacy. Each task strengthened his bond with Lysera, and the court began to respect him more. He noticed subtle signs of approval, a nod from an advisor, a slight smile from a soldier, or Lysera's quiet praise when he solved a difficult problem. One afternoon, Alex found Lysera in the palace gardens, tending to a delicate plant that shimmered in colors he could barely describe. Human, she said, do you see the value in small things as well as great? Leadership is not just about strategy. It is about understanding the lives of those you protect. Alex looked at the plant. I think I understand. Even small actions can have a big impact. Lysera nodded. Exactly. Your actions in our world, no matter how minor they seem, carry meaning. That is why your pledge cannot be taken lightly. It is not just law. It is a commitment to understand, protect, and respect. As Alex walked back to his quarters, he thought about the journey so far. The joke of calling Lysera wifey had led him to this moment, an unexpected role in a world he barely understood. He realized that humans, often underestimated, could make a difference through courage, intelligence, and care. He also realized something else. His relationship with Lysera had changed. There was respect, yes, but also a growing connection. He admired her wisdom and strength, and he sensed that she saw more in him than just a human bound by law. That night, as he looked out at the city lights, Alex felt a sense of purpose. The trials of trust had prepared him for this moment, but the real test was ongoing. He had to navigate alien customs, earn respect, and prove that his words and actions truly mattered. And he knew one thing for certain. He could no longer treat his wifey joke lightly. It had started as humor, but it had opened a door to responsibility, understanding, and perhaps something more. In a world so different from Earth, Alex realized that humanity's true strength lay not in technology alone, but in courage, empathy, and the willingness to act with honor. And in Lysera's presence, he understood that humans were capable of building bridges across worlds, one thoughtful action, one careful choice, and one brave moment at a time. Alex woke early, as he had every day since arriving in Lysera's palace. But today felt different. The challenges, the trials, and the lessons were behind him. Now the world outside awaited his decisions, and the weight of the pledge he had made, even as a joke, pressed on his mind. He met Lysera in the observation lounge, overlooking the city. She stood gracefully, her silver blue skin glowing softly in the morning light. Her eyes held intelligence, authority, and something deeper, trust. Human, she said, her voice calm. You have learned much. Your actions have earned respect. But there is one final matter, one that will determine your future in our world. Alex swallowed. He had faced trials, crises, and challenges. He had acted with courage, intelligence, and empathy. But he knew Lysera was referring to something more, something personal, something that could not be measured in logic or skill alone. Lysera continued, Your words created this bond, but now your choices will define it. You may embrace it, fully understanding its meaning, or you may request release under our law. The decision is yours. Alex paused. He thought of the past weeks, the trials, the crises, the moments of learning and the moments of fear. He thought of Lysera, not just as a queen, but as a being of wisdom, strength, and unexpected warmth. I choose to stay, Alex said finally, not because of a joke, but because I believe in this bond. I want to help, to learn, and to be worthy of your trust. Lysera's gaze softened. Your choice reflects understanding and courage. Few humans would act with such clarity. You are beginning to see what it means to be more than your words. The court gathered in the grand hall that evening to witness the formal recognition of Alex's pledge. He stood beside Lysera not as a visitor, not as a subordinate but as a partner under law. The dignitaries and advisors watched in silence, acknowledging the human who had proven himself through action, intelligence, and integrity. Lysera spoke clearly, her voice echoing through the hall. This human has shown courage, loyalty, intelligence, and empathy. His words, spoken lightly, have grown into actions worthy of honor. The bond between us is recognized, not as a mere joke, but as a commitment to trust, respect, and understanding. Alex felt a surge of pride, tempered by humility. He had not expected this journey when he first said wifey as a joke. Yet here he stood, recognized, respected, and accepted in a world far beyond Earth. The following days were filled with collaboration and learning. Alex worked closely with Lysera and her advisors on technological, social, and strategic projects. His human perspective brought fresh ideas, and his courage inspired others. He no longer felt like an outsider. He felt like a part of something larger, a bridge between worlds. Lysera watched him often, noticing his dedication, his careful thought, and his ability to act decisively under pressure. Slowly, a subtle connection grew between them, mutual respect, understanding, and a quiet trust that neither words nor law alone could define. One evening, as they walked through the palace gardens, Lysera spoke softly. "You have proven your abilities, human. But more than that, you have shown that humans can be more than they appear. You act with honor, courage, and understanding. That is rare." Alex looked at her, sensing both respect and warmth. "I have learned much from you, Your Majesty, about courage, responsibility, and trust. I never expected a simple joke to lead to this." To all of this, Lysera smiled faintly. Jokes can carry weight, but choices, actions, and understanding carry far more. You have chosen wisely, and that is what matters. Over time, Alex's presence became a symbol of humanity's potential in the galaxy. Other humans visiting Lysera's world were treated with respect, and alien leaders began to see humans as intelligent, capable, and honorable allies. Alex's courage and careful thought had changed perceptions. Despite the challenges, Alex and Lysera found moments of quiet connection. They shared discussions on culture, technology, and philosophy. They walked through the gardens, studied the stars, and sometimes simply observed the world together in silence. One day, during a quiet moment, Lysera approached Alex in the observation lounge. "Human," she said, "your presence has changed our world, not just through skill but through character. You have proven that humans can be trusted allies, capable of courage, intelligence, and empathy, and you have shown that words, even those spoken lightly, can grow into actions of meaning." Alex nodded, feeling both pride and humility. "I only hope I continue to live up to that, Your Majesty. I want to be worthy of the trust you've placed in me." Lysera's eyes softened. "You are already worthy, human. And now our bond is no longer about words alone. It is about shared understanding, shared respect, and shared purpose. That is the true meaning of law, trust, and commitment in our world." As weeks turned into months, Alex and Lysera continued to work together. They faced challenges, managed crises, and guided the court with intelligence and courage. Through every trial, they learned from each other, blending human intuition with alien wisdom. The palace, once a place of intimidating rules and formalities, became a space of collaboration, learning, and mutual respect. Alex realized that being bound by words had led him to a far greater understanding of Lysera, of her people, and of the value of human courage and intelligence in a galaxy full of wonders. Finally, one evening as the twin moons rose over the city, Lysera turned to Alex. "Human, our bond has grown stronger than law or words. It is built on trust, understanding, and action. Humor may have brought you here, but it is courage and character that will define your place in our world." Alex smiled, feeling a sense of fulfillment he had never known. "I understand, Your Majesty, and I will continue to act with courage, intelligence, and respect. For you, for your people, and for the truth of our bond." Lysera's expression softened further. "Then our journey continues, not as a joke, not as obligation, but as a true partnership. Together, we will face the challenges of this world, and together, we will show that humans are capable of greatness." Alex looked out at the city, thinking about the journey from a careless joke to this moment of deep connection and mutual respect. He realized that words could change destinies, but actions and choices defined them. In Lysera's presence, he had learned that humans were not just survivors, they were thinkers, problem solvers, and courageous beings capable of bridging worlds. And in this alien palace, he had found a place where humanity mattered, where trust mattered, and where he could stand not as an outsider, but as a valued partner. As night fell and the palace lights shimmered, Alex felt a quiet pride and deep satisfaction. A joke had brought him here, but courage, intelligence, and loyalty had created a bond that would endure. He had learned the true meaning of commitment, respect, and partnership in a world beyond Earth, and for the first time, he truly understood that being human, honest, brave, and thoughtful was a strength that could shape worlds. In that moment, Alex knew that whatever the future held, he would face it with courage, wisdom, and the trust he had earned, by words, by actions, and by heart.